once considered to be one of the largest temple structures in its time.
Used as a place for sacrificial ceremony.
And written with mythological references to Greek deities.
Are these dramatic examples of the creativity and skill of the people of ancient Greece?
Or are they examples of astounding achievements used in the ancient past?
Architecture innovatively designed in a way never seen before.
This temple was used in a way to communicate with the gods.
Dedicated to the Greek goddess of the hunt, wild animals, wilderness, childbirth, and virginity, watched over by Medusa, the Gorgon guardian.
Millions of people around the world believe the ancient civilizations of our past were far more advanced than what is commonly believed.
Could the temple of Artemis at Corfu prove this to be true?
Did incredibly modern advancements really help shape early Greek history?
And could proof be found in the ancient city of Corcyra in what is known as the Temple of Artemis in Corfu?
Who were they?
And what did they leave behind?
On a map previously shown, we see the island of Corfu in Greece. Corfu is a Greek island in the Ionian Sea, which is the second largest satellite island that marks the northwestern boundary of what is considered to be Greece. The name Corfu originates from the word Corcyra, which originally comes from an ancient myth. In this myth, the god of the ocean, Poseidon, fell in love with a beautiful nymph named Corcyra. To show his love, he kidnapped this nymph and took her to the island, which he then named after her, Corcyra.
It was in this city where the Temple of Artemis was built. This was an archaic-style temple dedicated to the Greek goddess Artemis that functioned as a sanctuary like many other temples from its time. But unlike any of its predecessors, the Temple of Artemis was constructed with every Doric-style architectural element and with structural framework made of all limestone. Both of these features were the first of such kind. The temple building was set atop a typical rectangular platform known as a stylobate. In the days the temple was built, the platform dimensions of 77 by 161 feet were never seen before. This size was a novel architectural achievement due to its substantially larger size than any other previous temple. Atop of the pediment, the temple structure itself was a peripheral-style building with the pronaos supported on two sides by two rows of 7 Doric columns. The other two sides were supported by 2 rows of 8 columns. The interior peristyle did not have the typical column format. It had just 1 row of 30 total columns all the way around, with just enough separation between that row from the cella for a hypothetical another row. This feature is called pseudo-peripheral. The Temple of Artemis is the earliest known example of this feature. This temple's new style, with features such as a triangular pediment, became a template for Greek Doric temple architecture.
The Temple of Artemis was a temple built around 580 BC in the ancient city of Corcyra on the island of Corfu. This temple, as is hinted in the name, was built in dedication to the Greek goddess Artemis. At this temple, followers of Artemis sacrificed artifacts and animals to please their goddess. This temple was considered by the inhabitants of Corcyra as the second home on earth of their goddess Artemis. In return for daily offerings of food, wine, and a share of the crops, the goddess Artemis blessed the inhabitants of the area with a successful hunt, safe childbirth, and the protection of young girls. Besides offering sacrifices of food and drink to Artemis, the temple was also used to communicate with this goddess. The way this was completed was through the help of a local oracle. This oracle had the divine ability of communicating with the gods, similar to the famous oracle of Delphi.
The pediment of the temple depicts one of the most well-known myths in Greek mythology, the Greek hero Perseus slaying the Gorgon Medusa. Medusa is centered in the scene with the typical archaic pose. Her Her child Pegasus is to her left, and her other son Crusaor is to her right. Perseus is on the left, looking through his shield, aiming her gaze back at her. The myth Medusa varies within Greek culture. However, the myth known today is the one written by classical poets. In the myth, the three Gorgons are the daughters of sea gods, but Medusa was the only mortal and was courted mainly for her beauty. She was so beautiful that Poseidon became infatuated with her. The god of the sea took Medusa and ravished her inside Athena's temple. Insulted, Athena took her wrath out by transforming Medusa into a monster like her sisters. She changed her silk hair into snakes, giving her bird wings and talons, and gave her a gaze that turned any man who met her eye into stone. Because of her mortality, King Polydectes challenged Perseus with the task of killing the Gorgon and bringing back her head as a wedding gift. Perseus was helped by the gods Athena and Hermes. They equipped him with magical weapons including a reflective shield, a curved sword, and winged boots. He descended upon her and decapitated the Gorgon, which then gave birth to their sons, the winged horse Pegasus and the giant Crusaor.
This magnificent testament of Greek architectural ingenuity is sadly not able to be admired today anymore, as it was destroyed many years ago. All that remains today are scattered ruins, which amazingly enough still provide a quite complete picture of what the temple actually looked like. The only intact part of the temple of Artemis is the pediment, which is located in the Archaeological Museum of Corfu.